Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm just trying to get my camera down here because I'm going to be painting some minis. I have not done this yet. I'm going to paint with all my new speed paints. I have not. I've used one of them exactly, I think. And I have a ton of my old speed paints still. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure I do my bases because the bases make kind of a mess. And if I have to come back and do any touch-up work or whatever, you know, I'm going to want that to be... I'm just going to bring a rag over here so I can wipe some of the moisture off my brush. This is Dollar Tree paint. I've been using this for all my base work and all my Old West terrain as a base coat. So I'm just going to get this. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to use a size 3 brush and carefully do up the bases. And then I'm going to come back and do the miniatures. And the success I've had, when I say success, the level of satisfaction I've had working with this base coat is actually, even though the consistency is kind of crappy and some of the actual pigment pieces in here of red are so big they break and smear. This is not what you would call a decent quality paint by any means, but it's really cheap. And if you're using it for a base coat and you're getting some inconsistency, sometimes it seems to work out pretty well. And I don't have any color that's exactly like this one. I have a couple that are close. And I'm just going to continue using it until it's gone or until I quit needing to use it. Now, these should be pretty easy to paint up with speed paint. These are not Dungeon Swag miniatures. They're fair enough detail, but they're not Sven detail. Sven's work from Daybreak is just every level of amazing. The dude is just a phenomenal artist. And we are very, very lucky to find ourselves an opportunity to be able to work with him. It's not free, but it's worth every penny, I promise you. He makes glorious miniatures for us. And, you know, we can reach out to him and say, hey, we kind of would like this, and, you know, hey, we'd like to do this, or, you know, what about this? I mean, one time he did an undead box at my request. He doesn't do a box, he does like a line, but he did an undead line at my request, and it worked out really well. It's beautiful miniatures. So, but I said, this is not that kind of detail. You know, you're not going to see the denim on this fella's pants. So we'll just take our time and get him going here. And with, like I said, with speed paints, this should turn out pretty decent, I'm hoping. Now, if you're not going to use speed paints and paint something like this, probably the best way to do it is just to do minor dry brushes of light tones over darker tones for what you want to catch, and then come back with like a brown or a dirty wash of some sort. A soft tone maybe, or flesh tone, whatever you want to use. You know, flesh wash, I should say, not flesh tone. But so we have our bases kind of outlined there nicely. I'm going to get this coffee latte color. And we don't need a whole bunch of this. We just need a little bit. And we're going to smear a little bit on our cardboard. And we're going to rub it around in the wettest spots on our base, creating some interesting variation for this kind of painted desert thing I'm going for. So where that Dollar Tree paint is extra moist and wet, because like I said, it's just not very consistent. You have to shake it really hard, and then it kind of comes out of suspension or goes into suspension. It's not ideal. It's not separating to the point where there's like a supernatant layer, but you can see there's consistency differences in it. And which is strange, because really cheap apple barrel paint from Walmart, you know, is not so much more, but it's just a higher quality paint for sure, somehow. And then I'm going to go through and look for more kind of spots that aren't as wet now. And I'm going to drag this khaki through there, try to make it a little interesting. And then as I just kind of mix these, I just kind of dab around and break it up. And that's going to be my painted desert base for that dude. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm not going to go over the top or too crazy. I'm not doing the outer part because that's going to get painted black anyways. All right, so that's all we're going to need for this paint for now that I can think of. We are going to have to dry this, though, because we do not want the speed paints to seep into that and destroy anything we're working on with that. We get it mostly dry now. By the time we get to the boots, it should be fine. I'm guessing. All right, so I have a couple brushes here. This is an Army Painter starter brush, which is essentially a size 1. And then I also have this brush I got from, I can't remember where I got it from, Temu maybe. But it was like $5 for $1 for these. And it says double lot, but I think it's a size 1. I want to try these out. I gave a couple of these out. People told me they weren't bad. So I'm going to start with my first flesh tone. Is going to be, I'm going to start on the guy with the bowler hat. I'm going to use Crusader skin. And I'm just going to get a tiny dot of that on here because I don't need a whole bunch of it. And then I'm not using the speed paint as it's actually perfectly intended to be used. What I do with my speed paint is I kind of use it to stain the miniature a color a little bit and see what it looks like. And then I'll come back and add more if I want to really suck that down into the cracks and darken something up. This guy seems to have no hair on the back of his head for whatever reason. Maybe he's bald except for his badass mutton chops. So I want to make sure I get his ear. And then make sure I get all the flesh. As you can see, just with that really thin coat, without it really going into the cracks too much, it's given me enough depth to feel like I've done something with it. Now I think this guy's not wearing gloves. Yeah, it looks like he's just got bare hands, so we're going to paint those up. And he's already starting to look pretty good. Let's figure out what color those slacks are going to be, though. All right. I don't think I want blue jeans. What about like a gray color? I have this Gravelord gray. Wish I was going to use it on the bowler hat, but I think it would be better served on these pants. And again, I'm just going to get a little bit of that. I don't think I'm going to need a whole lot. I'm going to do his little pants. Now on pants like this where there's some creases and some 3D work, this is where you see the speed paint really shine. It creates the layers and the depth you need to make the miniature interesting with minimal work. Now, mind you, this is all purchased. Like, I'm not like a sponsored by Army Painter or anything. So if you're just checking me out, you know, if you've been around, you know that. But if you're new, I don't want you to think that I got paid for this in any way. This is just a product that I like, and no one gave me these miniatures. I bought these, and no one gave me this paint. I bought it. Now, if you get a little thick like I did there, just kind of drag it around. Okay. Drag it around and get it everywhere you need it to go. And let it kind of do its job here. Not like I did on the flesh up there where I just barely used any. No, you gotta give it hell. Give it a little bit of paint. And once you get the pants kind of done, you don't want to paint two parts that are adjacent to each other until one's kind of dry, because they will bleed into each other. So one of the big secrets here is to do one section that's away from another section, kind of let it dry. I'm going to go set him in front of the fan. Let's pick up the miniature and start working on that one. Pardon me. Okay. Alright, so on this dude, and I'm really not sure if I like these brushes, by the way. The bristles are just a little stiffer than I'd care for, and it doesn't really want to keep the point well. Maybe if I'd have washed it first with some saddle soap. So for this gentleman, I'm going to start with this flesh. I'm going to use the same color. And we'll just keep trying this brush and see if I can make it work. I'm not super unhappy with that. But for his pants, I kind of wanted to use the Grave Lord Gray too, but I can't, because I can't have all my minis looking exactly the same. So we're going to wipe that brush up and see what colors are available to us. Alright, I got Tidal Wave Blue. That's one of my new colors. I got Plasmatic Bolt, which I had before, which is a different color now than it was before. Believe it or not. What about this? Holy White. I don't know. Looks like it needs a lot of shaking to get it where I want it. That's the thing with the new colors, is I have to shake the shit out of them. Desolate Brown. This is new. It's a brand new color I have not tried before. Alright, I think I got it shook up pretty good. Let's get a little bit of that on there. Let's try it out. Desolate Brown. Alright, nice. Oh, I do like that. I like that a lot. That's a super cool color. I have a feeling this is going to be getting a lot of use. Kind of wish I'd saved that. That'd be sick for the duster, but that's okay. Man, do I like that. That consistency is good too. Well, I think all the speed paints now are kind of standardized more even than they were originally, which originally, except for Malignant Green, they were amazing. Malignant Green, for some reason, just wasn't a very good color. But now it seems like they're all just, because I used a little bit of that whatever the new flesh tone was the other day, checking it out when I first brought these downstairs, because I had them upstairs since Christmas. I wanted to make sure I made a holder for them. So I just got a paddle bit and drilled some holes in some wood and made a little holder. So that, yeah, what's this called? Desolate brown. Yeah, I really like this. It's got a kind of a greenish tint to it. It's very sharp, very nice looking. Coats beautifully too. Look at that. It already looks really, really nice. One layer, just gorgeous. Love it. Sweet. Make sure none of his pants are coming up where I can see them. Yeah, look, there's a little bit above his belt there. We don't want to miss that. Then we can kind of set this off to the side. We'll throw him in front of the fan. Get the other guy again. Yeah, I know we're painting two minis at once. I don't know how fast that's going to be. I never meant to paint two at once. All right. This guy's looking pretty good. His Gravelord gray pants look nice. Now we got to do his vest. And since we already have that desolate brown and I loved it so much, we're going to dry this brush off on our rag. We're going to snag into that desolate brown and do his vest in it. Because that is a damn sharp color. I really like that. There's a little piece of, right here. I missed a little piece of support line. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Nah. That's all right. We're going to leave it. All right. Let's get this vest done up. Oh, man, that's going to be sharp. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Man, I love painting minis. Especially, like, doing quick and easy paint jobs. Or, like, you look at it and you're like, damn, that was quick. And it looks good. Speed paints kind of facilitates that for me. Everybody has their own way of doing shit, but for me, speed paints are just such a convenient addition to my tool set, because I run the game every Friday, and if I need miniatures, it's always been like since they came out. I had contrast paints, and they just weren't the same thing. They might be better now, but when they first came out, I thought they were dog shit. But there was like no consistency from pot to pot, and the white color they had was terrible. I'm going to get it on that badge because I think it'd be easier to come back and paint that badge with a metallic. Oh, there's metallics in this new speed paint set that I didn't check out. Oh, we can try them on these guns. All right, so I got a little bit of green on his shoulder that I didn't want there. So all I'm going to do is come back while it's still damp and wipe some of that away. Just like that. Okay, nice. He's starting to look good already. See how nice these speed paints are? They just crack away so fast. I'm going to throw him back in front of the, well, I'm going to do his hair. His face should be pretty dry. So I need a reddish color for his hair. I have some oranges here. What's this? Zealot yellow, blood red, fire giant orange. I'm going to get this fire giant orange, just a tiny dab of that. Just like that. Just the tiniest dab you can imagine. And then using my mouth to suck moisture out of the brush and leave it just a tiny bit damp. I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to hit up his facial hair. And it looks a little bit too bright orange for what I wanted. But you know what? We're going to try to make it work. We're going to try. Something like that. It's a little brighter and more vivid than I wanted, but you know what? What's to say this dude's beard isn't really just that crazy bright? we're going to come back, switch guys again real quick. And he's mostly dry, but not quite. So we're going to do this duster. So for that duster, I'm going to get a medium brown. This is called dark wood. It's almost like a darker brown, really. We're going to get a splap of that on here. That's probably more than we needed. And using this like $5 for $1 brush, which honestly I think these were from Temu, but it's really, I don't love it. I have some issues with it, but you know, for 20 cents or whatever it was for it, man, I just can't complain. It's a little stiff. That's my one. It wants to keep its point nice, and it's a little stiff. And I am used to my Army Painter brushes, which cost a little bit more. They're still not the highest end brushes, but they cost a little bit more. I do have a couple brushes that were pricey, but I just don't even enjoy using them. I think anything over $10 is, you know, what I consider a little pricey. I know I have a couple that are even more than that. I have one of my size double aught brushes is like, I did get it as a gift, but I have a double aught brush that I think was like 35 bucks. I would never spend that much on a brush personally. I'm not that good of a painter that I need that kind of brush. It's just like there's some paints that I wouldn't buy because I think they're really good paints. And as far as I can tell, everybody tells me they're good, but I don't have the tool set to use a set of paints that good. I'm not that talented, you know what I mean? I'm really good at throwing paint on a model, not really good at painting. You know my thing, let's get it done fast. I used to spend a lot of time painting models, and I had like 15 or 30 really nice models, and then you know, you try to paint something quick, or you start using some pre-paints, and then your collection has an enormous gap in it, and then it just creates issues. I will say, this dark brown here, dark wood or whatever it is making a really sharp looking, pretty duster. We're just going to go back around and make sure we got all the edge work caught up nice. There's no little dots of white we missed, because that does happen. Sometimes you don't really notice until after the speed paint's dry. I think we're doing all right there. Okay, let's get him set aside. Trade out minis again. I just want to show you, my paint water's still really, really clean. One nice thing about these is they don't destroy your paint water. All right, we traded out Homeboy for this dude, and he is looking pretty sharp. And let's attack that bowler's hat and his holster and his shirt. So, the bowler hat color, I'm going to use my Grim Black. And I might come back to that brown on some of this too, so. Air bubbles irritate the shit out of me. Not as bad as spider webs, but. Really excited. My friend Jay from the middle of Ohio is coming this weekend to play D&D, so I might try to push to play for 2 nights since he's here if he wants to stay both. I don't know if he will, but I'm really excited he's coming, and he's coming to be part of this new Wild West campaign for the first time. So he's an old school RPGer. He's going to have tons of good advice and tons of good ideas to help me balance my system, I'm sure. So I'm pretty stoked. That bowler hat's going to look okay like that, I think. And then we'll use that dark brown for the holster. And then I think I'm going to use that dark brown on the little bit of buttstock that's showing on this shotgun. Not bad. Not bad at all. I will have to wait to come back and do the shirt. So in the meantime, let's figure out what color that little bow collar is going to be, that little bow tie thing he's got there. I think it's going to be, I'm dying to see this tidal wave blue. Do these not have those little metal balls in them? I'm not sure if they do. I thought all Army Painter had that little ball in it. Okay. There's the blue. Probably a lot more than I needed for this. My best friend who plays this character, his favorite color is blue. So let's get a tiny bit of that and check it out. That's a nice color of blue. I do like that. I think it'd be easier to tell what it looked like if I had a larger piece to work with, you know, a larger thing I was looking at, but for what it is, I do like that. It's a little vibrant. That's okay, I can dig it. Okay, let's trade him out for the other guy and let this all dry. Not dry, but get drier. I don't want to have any bleeding. And we'll just clean that off. Put it in my mouth. Come back to this guy, this ombre. So we're not quite ready for his shirt, for damn sure. We could do his hat and his facial hair, but we'll have to do them careful. So for the facial hair, I want to use yellow color, like a blonde. So I don't know if yellow would be too vibrant, so I'm going to try this. You know what would work? I have a bone color that would work for that, or a sand color even. Here's Sand Golem. We'll get a little dab of the Sand Golem. We'll use that for his hair. That was more than I needed, but it'll be okay. Now, if we pull this out and make it real thin and just use it to dab on here, and don't use it like a speed paint, use it just kind of stain it the color we want, it'll look blonde. Okay. And I only know that because I've used it a lot for different stuff. Like, obviously, you know, it doesn't say that, and that's not advertised for this, but I do know that it does do that. You just pull it out and just use it to dab it, and it'll stain it the color you need it to be. Now he's got a nice looking blondish brown, sandy blonde kind of head of hair. We're going to use that same color, but with a little more enthusiasm on this holster. And see, it's actually significantly darker in its normal application. And I kind of like to use this for that belt too. Just like that. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Let's do his hat. We're going to do his hat in a something called hardened leather. Yeah, these ones have the metal ball in them. I don't know if those ones just don't, or I just didn't shake it loose or what. These old ones definitely have the metal ball. I'm going to get this, I'm going to pull it out and kind of get an idea what it's going to look like. This cowboy hat style is called a rustler. And there's just, based off the brim and the top part of the hat that sits on your head, there's different names. There's like a rustler, a cattleman, like a bandit. There's just different styles of cowboy hats. I'm obviously not an expert on cowboy hats, but I know a little bit. Now, I'm not going all the way up and touching his head because I don't think we need to, and it's going to put us in a situation that's not ideal. So, but what I am going to do is I'm going to get some of that Grave Lord Gray and some of that brown. I'm just going to mix that up a little bit and do his boots with it. And I think that'll work. Something like that. He's pretty much done, isn't he? Look at that. We got to do his gun and his shirt, and he's cooked. And his badge. And come around doing outside. A little layer of black around the base. We'll set him in front of the fan. Grab the other fella. All right, on this fella we got left to do boots, gun, shirt, and shotgun. So let's do that shirt first. And for the shirt I'm going to use, let's try one of my new colors I haven't tried to use before. Holy White. Never tried it. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. All right, let's see. It looks kind of a gray. Let's make sure there's no other colors on his shirt that we need to remove. I think I got it when I just licked it off with the wet there. All right, let's get the white. This is called Holy White. I'm getting some religious vibes. Ooh, that might look good. Almost look like a dirty, kind of old. Yeah, I don't dislike that. It's pretty good. Wonder how that looks on your eyes. If it looks as good as I hope it's going to, that might actually be the way to go. Pretty pleased with that. Again, I got these for Christmas. I just brought them down here the other day. I've not really used them. Some of these colors are colors that I had, and some of these are brand new colors. Pretty happy with the way that's going to look, I think. I have some metallics, too. Let's get some of that, what was that color called? What is that? Sand Golem. And let's just do his revolver handle with that. Good. Then I'm going to get the dark brown, that medium brown, that leather color here. I'm going to do his boots with that. I'm not getting his spurs. I'm just getting the boot parts themselves. Now there is not much of a contrast between those and the base, which can be a good thing because if you've got a little bit of base up on your boots, this would make it all kind of not as noticeable. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, cool. Let's do that shotgun barrel, and we'll call him pretty much done. Now, that shotgun barrel is going to be an experiment here because I have never used these metallic speed paints. Let's see, what do I have? I have broadsword silver, hoplite gold, and I thought there was another one, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, this is that broadsword silver. Oh, look at the, wow, ooh, that looks cool. I don't know how well you can see that from up there. I'll bring it up there and you can see it. It's right there, that dot. Ooh, cool. I'm excited. Let's try it out. My brush is mouth damp. If the damn tip would stay on this thing, it would be awesome. I can deal with how sturdy it is, how stiff it is. And then underneath here, that's got to be wood. I didn't realize that was under there. We're going to come back and do that. Okay. And then we'll come rinse out the brush and come back and hit that little bit of wood in the back underneath there. And you don't want to do this when it's wet. I'm telling you now. What I'm about to do is a mistake. Indubitably, hands down, mistake. But I'm hoping I don't have it wet enough and I don't touch it just perfect and I can keep it from bleeding. There we go. We're going to leave it go like that. Now, I do need to touch up his badge, but I think I'm going to make that look like a pocket watch. To do that, I'm going to grab a little bit of off-white. And I'm just going to do the tiniest little dot on the center of that. Just like that. And I'm going to hit it with the air gun. Now, I forgot to do his spurs with that metallic. So I'm going to come back and do those real quick. All right. So I have that little bit of white there. Then I'm going to get a metallic. I'm using this greedy gold. I'm just going to get the tiniest little dot of this, like you just don't even know. I'm going to make sure my brush has a fine tip the best I can. I'm going to do this little nub up here. I'm going to drag it around the outside. Like that. Man, if this had a monocle, it'd have been shot on money. And then I'm going to get, what do you call it? A fractional brush. Fractional brush just means that it is smaller than your normal brush. There are a ton of different brushes that you could consider fractional. This one is actually claiming to be 5/0. You can't divide by 0 though. Yep, only Chuck Norris can divide by 0. I'm going to get a little more of that black paint. And I'm going to come around and do the rim around the base here. Now, I know we're over 30 minutes by far at this point. But just keep in mind, we're painting 2 minis. And you can leave at any time. I'm not giving a class. I'm just BSing and painting some minis for Friday's game. Scorbic designed these bases, and they are just absolutely spectacular. We actually don't account for the money for putting the bases in the boxes in our budget. It's just like, they're just in the boxes for free. When you get the monthly box, I'm not sure how it's handled for the one-off purchases, but I know in the monthly box it's just one of those things we eat because we want you to have bases, and the bases that the amount of resin it would take to print out the bases that Sven designs, because every base is custom for every mini, is like, it'd be big time work. So I'm going to set that in front of the fan. We're going to call that a win. Let that dry, clear coat it to get rid of any shine. It'll look nice. All right, and this dude, we're almost done with this guy too, actually. We'll leave that black there and try to remember where it was, because we're going to need that again. So let's get that metallic. Let's paint that 6-shooter with it. Let's not be overzealous. Nice. And let's do that shirt. Man, I kind of want to use that white more, but I don't want to go over the top with it. Let's get pallid bone. You can kind of guess what this is normally used for. Let me get the pallid bone. I'll drag it out to the side here. I'm going to get up under and do that shirt up with it. This gives a very good, like, dingy, parchment-y kind of color, if you keep it thin enough. And I'm not getting all over that badge because I don't really need to. And I'm going to come back and do that badge in that gold color we had out. Okay, let's clear that off, and we'll get our black, come around and do the base. For me, this black makes a definitive edge difference from the display portion of the base and the border, and I don't know why that is such a big deal to me, but I love that. I love that divide. Like, there's a inside here is not a game piece. It's a little part of a different world, and this outside is the edge of where the rules affect it. That probably sounds stupid, but and obviously I could grime these up by adding a wash if I felt the need. I do not. I'm pretty happy with them the way they are. They're grimy enough, and they're a little bit colorful at the same time. Look how beautiful those pants are. Once that shine's all gone, this thing's going to be sweet. So anyways, let's grab them both and take a look. Again, these were not Dungeon Swag Minis. I didn't make these. I bought these from a company called Garrison Miniatures USA from Etsy. GarrisonMinis.com. GarrisonMinis.com is, I think, the website if you go not on Etsy. But I was trying to support some other creators, some other people that do stuff, and that's how I made the choice to get to where I was on these. So there's 2 minis done and ready for Friday night. I'm pretty happy with them. I hope you are too. Thanks for watching. Check out the website. Buy some minis there if you can from us. Check out Garrison Minis too while you're at it. Maybe you need some Western minis. There's a discount code in the description. You can still get a free mini if you join the Discord. If you haven't got one yet. This stuff's only available in the U.S. I'm sorry. The shipping stuff and with the uncertainty of tariffs or whatever other things might come. Right now we're just doing the U.S. Also, what else? Things and stuff. Oh, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment if you could, and hang out with us on Discord. And I will see you next time.